everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Allie, or Wavy Curly Allie. I'm a healthy hair enthusiast just here sharing my tips and tricks on how to help you love your hair as it is naturally. And before I jump into today's topic, I once again need to address my hair color because I did go darker again. We previously did a demi-permanent darker colored, pretty much a bunch of low lights all over the bleach blonde hair that I've had for years and years and years, but I'm going darker, closer to my natural hair color. So we did the same thing again, just kind of freshened it up, helped it go a little bit darker again since it had faded so much. Demi-permanent color does fade relatively quickly. We did kind of spruce things up, if you will. And I do have to say, I feel like my hair is absolutely getting curlier, and that's great and all. I'm happy that it's healthy and it's thriving, but I'm kind of having a hard time figuring out what to do with it. So as I mentioned in a video or two ago, I'm getting these tighter curls that are very long and skinny, if you can see that. They're just very tightly bound into smaller pieces. So where I normally like to break up my curl clumps to give myself some extra volume and fluff, I feel like even if I'm piecing them apart, they're looking like stringy little noodles, and I'm not sure how to style them. So if you're watching this and you have that kind of curl pattern where it's very long and skinny, tight curls, let me know. I would love to know how you manage those to maybe make them look a little bit fuller, if you will. Anyway, let's jump into today's video. I'm covering the bowl method and Smasters technique. Now I'm going to leave a little disclaimer right here. I am not completely certain of the origins of either of these techniques. I know the bowl method, I learned it from Power Dami on Instagram. Where it actually came from, I'm not certain. I've been told it might be a curly professional, someone in Australia. If that's true, give me their name so I can appropriately tag them. And for Smasters technique, I recall a video a very long time ago. I believe the girl's name is Smaster, her last name, or Smasters, and she had a video somewhere on Smasters technique. So I will be demonstrating both of them today. Again, I'm not completely certain of the origin, so if you have the furthest dated back link to that content, please feel free to drop it below. I want to appropriately give credit where credit is due. So without further ado, let's get into it. So bowl method essentially is a nice technique that I've talked about before, where you have a bowl or a container in the bathroom with you as you're washing your hair, and you're kind of squishing over it with product in your hair, whether that be your conditioner, your deep conditioner, or your styling products. This helps you maximize product usage, so as you're squeezing and squishing, that stuff that would normally just flop down into the drain is actually getting collected into a bowl, and you're bringing it back into your hair. This is an excellent method for retaining moisture in your hair and maximizing the usage of your product. So instead of, like I said, losing it all to the drain, it's collecting and you're putting it back into your hair. You would want to do that because it really, really helps with curl clumps. As I already stated a million times, it really helps with moisture retention, but it's going to help you a lot with getting curl clumps. Something that I feel like a lot of people miss when they're trying to achieve larger clumps is by just not having enough water in their hair. Now, I'm going to address this to a specific type of person that's watching this. I remember the first time I learned about this, or the times that I would watch somebody continually re-wet their hair as they're putting product in. The first thought I had is, why am I continuing to add water when I just want to dry my hair? Why do you keep wetting it? Can we get to the dry part? Can we get to diffusing it and letting it dry? It takes so long as it is, but I promise you, this adds maybe a minute of time onto your wash day, probably less. You could just do this once or twice over the bowl and be done with it, and it's just 30 seconds. So it is definitely worth doing it, and by getting some really awesome, nice results and some nice big curl clumps or whatever size that you like, then there's no size that's perfect. It's whatever works for you. Then you can extend your wash day. You really are buying yourself time on the other end of it. So that's the bowl method. I'll show you everything today. And then Smasters technique is pretty straightforward. So essentially, it's letting your hair dry to about 50% and then taking any trouble spots or all over, whichever you prefer, applying a little bit more product, maybe wetting your hands and emulsifying the product, scrunching that product in, and then finishing drying. So you can do this with air dried hair or using a diffuser. Either works. Just get it to 50% dry, apply more product. Now the way that I like to use Smasters technique is to hit trouble spots. So my top layer, as I've said many times in my videos, is always curlier. It just responds better. The pattern on top is just different, and that's fine. That's very common to have multiple patterns on your head. as you go to the bottom layer of my hair, it tends to fall more straight. Again, I'm completely fine with that. It doesn't bother me at all. Something I've had to get used to. It did bother me in the beginning. So something that you can do is take that section, or I said all over, you take the section of hair, as I demonstrate in this video, it is on the side, where I put a little bit of water in my hand, a little bit more product, I emulsify, praying hands on scrunch, and then I finish diffusing. So as I said, these are the results from today's wash, which I am showing you. I did both the bowl method today to film and Smasters technique to film. Let's jump right into it. We're gonna start with the bowl method.
All right, to start, I have my little bowl or my container. I'm going to put a little bit of water at the bottom of the bowl. I've noticed for my hair really likes to hang on to moisture, so I try to get as much in as possible, and when squishing, not a ton likes to come out. So I put a little bit of water in the container first. Now I'm just taking a bit of my deep conditioner here, and I'm working it through the mid-lengths and ends of my hair. I like to section my hair off by roping in this product to make sure it's saturated. Makes it a little bit easier when I go into finger detangling. I should also note that I do like to brush my hair before I get it wet to wash it, and typically I wash my hair upright. But for the sake of today's video, you see me here washing it upside down in the sink so I can demonstrate for the camera. Now I'm just squishing my hair over this container just to collect the water and product, so you can see it running off of my hands, into the bowl. Now this water product mixture is in the container. I'm just going to dip my hair back into it and continue squishing. I've noticed now that I put more water back in, I'm having a little bit more drip off of my hair. This means I'm sufficiently coating my hair with product and getting enough water in there to get as much moisture as possible. I'll continue to do this until my hair feels sufficiently coated with conditioner and very well moisturized. Now from here, I've just rinsed out my deep conditioner. I'm squeezing out the excess water after rinsing and getting it into the container. I'm going to use about a fingertip of the Bounce Curl Clump and Define Cream. This stuff is very concentrated. As you can see, it spreads easily. It's a lot that came out of just that fingertip of product. I'm raking this in my hair, lifting my hair up and away from my scalp. I'm going to go through with the Tralex Reflex Style Serum. This stuff has incredible slip. It's very easy to work in the hair and fully saturate the strands. Again, same technique, raking it through. And now I'm just going to brush, make sure my hair is nice and loose and detangled. Give it a good shake for anybody that has issues with the back of their hair sticking to their scalp. And then continue to brush to reform the clumps from the mid-lengths to the ends. You can also see that I'm giving my brush just a little bit of twist. I like to use the back part of the brush to help flatten my hair. It makes the clumps reform a little bit easier. Then give it a little shake. Now I'm going in with my last hardest hold styler, my Ecoslay Orange Marmalade. Just going to do several pumps of this, about a palm full of product. Emulsify that in my hands to evenly distribute it, and use praying hands to go over each of those curl clumps and begin to scrunch. And I'm going to scrunch over the container. You can see some of that product water mixture leaving my hands and falling into the container. There it is. And again, just dipping my hair right back into the container, repurposing that product, getting more moisture into my hair. And you can continue doing this until your hair feels well coated. The more times you dip back in, your hair is going to continue clumping together. Water helps curl clumps form. So if you struggle with curl clumps, again, this is an awesome option. Also helps you save on the total amount of product that you use. And there you go. It's the final result. Now let's move on to Smasters technique. Here my hair is about 50% dry. I've got this sad section on the bottom that likes to go straight, so I'm just going to wet my hands and add about a pea size of my styler. So exactly what I was doing when I was styling it, soaking wet all over. So just redo that one little section, scrunch it in, do this wherever you'd like on your hair that makes sense. And really guys, that's it. Finish drying to 100% and see how it helps encourage your pattern.
All right, you guys, that's it. So that is the bowl method and Smasters technique. Again, if you know the origins of these videos, I would love to properly credit the owners. Please drop them below. I would be happy to update the caption. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I hope that this has been helpful. Otherwise, if you can, please like and subscribe. And please let me know what you'd like to see next. I'd love to continue bringing you the videos that y'all love the most. All right, thanks guys.